Hi, this is Ghost and welcome back, and I have actually managed to do it. 2 videos in 2 days. You're not dreaming, I was able to get my arse in gear and actually do this. Right, so today I wanted to talk about some new operator ideas I had. Now what started the cogs turning to come up with these new operator ideas is during my time playing Rainbow Six Siege, I've noticed that Ashe has pretty much got a 100% pick rate in this game. And for good reason, she's an incredibly powerful operator. Not only is she a 3 movement speed character, which means that she can rush an objective very quickly, catch people off guard, she also has one of the smallest hitboxes in the game, and having a small hitbox in this game is a massive advantage. When people are difficult to get shots on you, you're going to survive a lot longer, and if you can move a lot faster, people aren't quite expecting you to jump into a room or zip across a room quite as fast, and they'll lose track of you. They won't get as many bullets on target, giving you a better chance to get shots on them, even if you're not aware that they're in the room. The next reason to pick Ashe is purely because of our weapons. Both the R4C and the G36C are incredibly powerful weapons. I personally prefer the R4C because it does a smidge more damage and has a slightly higher rate of fire, and I've got used to the recoil pattern. But the G36C is equally as potent of a weapon. They are both incredibly powerful weapons, and not many operators have 2 really competitive options for primary weapons. And finally, the number 1 reason to pick Ashe is her gadget. The grenade launcher breaching round just enables you to breach into a room so quickly that most people aren't prepared for you. A lot of characters will still be in the prep phase of just getting stuff down. Occasionally your gadget won't deploy properly and you're sat there and it takes you a bit of time to do that. Then you've got to put up the reinforcements, pick up your rook armor, make sure your barbed wire's in the right place, and Ashe can get onto the objective so quickly that by the time you sort of set all this up, killed all the drones, you might still be doing one of these actions and she's there shooting you in the face while you're still sort of trying to put a gadget down or pick up a bit of armor. And it's incredibly potent to be able to get into the objective that quickly. And as it currently sits, there are no other operators that have the same ability to get in as fast to an objective as Ashe. Yes, we do have characters like Sledge and Buck who are able to breach through non-reinforced walls as effectively as Ashe, and probably do more, and definitely be able to do breach through more of them. But they are only a 2 movement speed operator, so they take a little bit longer to get to the objective. Also, their weapons, for the most part, aren't really as good. Admittedly, Sledge does have his SMG-11, which is a little bit too strong in my opinion. But his primary weapon it's about 200 rounds per minute slower rate of fire than Ashe's weapon, so if you're hitting for body shots, you're going to take a lot longer to drop someone than Ashe would hitting for body shots. Buck, on the other hand, his weapon is just, it's difficult to use. Let's just go with it's difficult to use. I think on console it is almost impossible because trying to control a recoil pattern when it's bouncing literally all over the place is very difficult. On PC it's a little bit easier, but I do think he possibly needs a little bit of a buff to his weapon's recoil pattern. Now, although both these operators do have the ability to breach multiple unreinforced walls, they're not going to be quite as effective as Ashe because they're not moving as quickly. Because they're only a 2 movement speed, it's going to take them a little bit longer to get to the objective. That said, you can still get some brilliant Kool-Aid Man moments with Sledge. It is hilariously enjoyable to do that. Sledge shotgun can be so much fun to play. So as Ashe can run into a room so much faster than Buck or Sledge, who can keep up with Ashe? Well, you've got IQ, Hibana and Capitao. Capitao has no breach. Can't be useful there. I do feel he should have a breaching charge because if you come up against a castle, you've just got to sit there knocking on the door and hoping that no one comes and answers it before you manage to get through it. Next up, you've got IQ. Yes, she does have breaching charges, but they are breaching charges and they take a little bit longer to deploy. And then we have Hibana. And although Hibana has got some great weapons, she has got the ability to breach pretty much every wall or hatch in the game. She is so valuable, you don't want her really rushing into the objective and risking her life so early on in the game. So meaning there is no direct rival to Ashe, and that's why we see her so oftenly picked. And I kind of feel there should be someone else who's able to do a similar job to Ashe. And this is what's prompted me to come up with these alternatives to an Ashe, to have a bit of a rival, to mix things up so we don't just see Ashe every game. Because however much we love that sexy ginger lady, we don't want to see her every game, and it would be nice to sort of mix things up and maybe see some other operators being played. Right, without any further delay, let's get on to these operator ideas. Starting out with the first one, which is more of an augmentation of an existing operator than a new idea, but the idea is to take IQ and give her impact nades instead of her frag grenades. This would give IQ the ability to quick breach unreinforced hatches, walls, and doors as quickly as possible, making her a much more effective operator. Although you could say this would make her too powerful, because she already has a gadget, giving her the ability to quick breach in the same way as Ashe would almost be like giving her 2 gadgets. Though I feel her current gadget is so weak that I don't think this would give her a massive advantage. What do you guys think? Do you think this would make her way too powerful and just completely counter Ashe and wipe her out from the game, because she'd be able to quick breach walls and still see gadgets and electronics through the wall with her normal gadget? I'd be really interested to know what you guys think. Now moving on to my newer operator ideas, starting out with this first one which has access to a spider drone. The spider drone is basically a movable breaching charge, so during the prep phase you find the wall, window, door that you want to breach through that's unreinforced. You climb your drone up to it, deploy it on there, and it disappears in the same way that Echo has that same cloaking device on his, so people can't just walk past and go, oh, there's his breaching charge, I'll shoot that out. It is somewhat cloaked and isn't just easy to shoot straight out of the wall. Normally when it's crawling around it isn't cloaked. So the idea being you set this drone up during the prep phase, you then spawn in, run towards the wall that the spider drone's set on, you hit your gadget button again, the wall explodes like it would with a normal breaching charge and you have access to that room. You can get in there quickly and kind of catch people off guard in the same way that Ash is able to. This operator would have access to 2 of these drones and you'd be able to do it to 2 different walls. I don't quite decided whether you'd have the second one, I don't know whether it would be a bit too powerful to have this, but your second one, as you pick it out, you can either run it around and deploy it like you would the first one, or you can just throw it straight at a wall and it would blow up like an impact nade and give you access to that wall. I can't quite decide whether that would be too powerful of a feature. I guess you'd have to sort of test it out and put it into a game and try it and see whether it would work as being a bit too broken. Obviously the main disadvantage of this operator is you're using your drones to breach a wall, so whether you give him the ability to have a normal drone as well so he's able to recon with that, or whether he just has to have these 2 drones and make the decision of whether he wants to breach a room or have a bit more information. If he's obviously just breaching the room, he's got to rely on the rest of his team for the extra information. I'd be really interested to know what you think of this operator. Do you think it's a good idea, or do you think it's a bit gimmicky and a bit of a silly idea? Or is it a bit too overly futuristic and something that we wouldn't necessarily see in the world today? What do you think? Is it a bit too far-fetched? I'd really be interested to know. If you could leave me a comment in the section below, that would be awesome. Now, this next idea is a new shield op. Unlike normal shield ops, he obviously has a much lighter shield. It's only like a ballistic shield and it's not completely indestructible. It has a finite amount of health, sort of similar to that of like the Tachanka shield or Blackbeard's original shield. Give it about 800 health. We'd have to sort of tone it around to see where it sort of worked, whether it was too strong with 800 or too weak, and it would sort of tone it up or down according to that sort of pattern. Now, although this fella's shield can be destroyed, he would be able to move a lot faster and silently compared to the other shield operators, and to augment the fact that his shield can be destroyed, you'd give him something like an automatic secondary, sort of the SMG-11-esque sort of thing. There was in Rainbow Six Vegas 2, there was a weapon called the MP9, which I think would be quite a cool weapon to have as his secondary or primary weapon after his shield gets destroyed. Now, that's all well and dandy. But how's he meant to quick breach a room similar to what an Ash or this other spider drone operator or IQ with impact nades? Now the idea is to give this guy 2 sort of shape charges that he's able to stick onto the front of his shield as he goes to breach. The idea is he sticks these shape charges onto the wall and smacks his shield into the wall. As he smacks his shield into the wall, the shape charge explodes, blowing the wall out in front of him. A shape charge, if you don't know, is a directional charge, so you'd be able to have it so that all the explosive fires through the wall rather than back at you, meaning that you could stand right next to it. Now this is probably stretching the realistic nature of how these charges work a little bit, but it is a video game. You can take some artistic liberties with it. I mean, we have an invisible drone as it currently sits, and I'm pretty positive that doesn't exist in the real world. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Now the main disadvantage this operator has is obviously his shield can be destroyed. So unlike a Blitz or a Monty or even a Fuse with his shield, he can't just sort of sit at a window and hold on angle because his shield will eventually break. So he'd have to play a little bit more cautiously, bringing a whole new style into the game, and I think would sort of mix up the meta a bit, and I think it could be a really fun addition to the game. Now, I'll be really interested to know what you guys think. Do you reckon this guy would just be blatantly overpowered and there'll be no real way of dealing with him? Or do you reckon he'd be a little bit underpowered? I'd be really interested to know what your opinions on him are and on the other 2 ideas that I put forward. On top of this, I'd be really interested to know if you have any ideas for a new quick breach operator, or do you reckon it's just a gap that doesn't need filling and Ash just does the job fine and you're quite happy seeing Ash in every game? Anyways, this video has come to a close. If you could leave a comment in the section below answering any of those questions that I posed towards you, that would be great. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and I shall see you on the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye for now.